Yo, cut.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. We have got some more Masters action for you on this beautiful Tuesday evening. It is going to be Aperture Gaming versus Damage Control. Going to be a rather interesting game. Previously, Aperture Gaming won their previous series. Damage Control unfortunately lost theirs. So it's going to be a highly anticipated game that we're going to witness here tonight. I am Jabba. I am pleasantly graced with the lovely succulent succubus. How are you doing, you lovely lady?
Hello. I'm good, thank you, Jabba. It's really good to be here, and it's very comfortable in these lovely gaming chairs, I must say.
Well, I aim to please. I do aim to please.
Well, what do you think of the bans and picks at the moment? It's fairly standard we've seen throughout this tournament. People have been banning out that lovely Underlord over there quite often in these recent events, in these recent games.
Well, Underlord, so much attention placed on this hero. Is so often banned out. Teams, I think, struggle to actually deal with him at the moment. They haven't really figured out how to actually counter him, how to actually prevent him from actually accelerating through the game, especially through the laning phase. He's really tanky, and teams really struggle to deal with him. Yeah. They actually have to run a tri lane up against him just to try and stop what this Underlord can do.
I suppose it's because the root no longer just stuns you once, it continuously stuns you, and if you've got any hero that can keep you locked down, that it's just going to continue. Not just that, the damage reduction that he does is quite immense as well, and he gains that damage. Plus, obviously, SD combos with so many other heroes. We see it with Luna, with any heroes he can, we saw it last time when they did that with the Dragon Knight, when the Luna wasn't very strong enough. As soon as the Dragon Knight turned level 6, the SD just made illusions of his dragon form, and they just pushed down those towers so very easily with him. So it's a fairly standard ban at the moment.
Well, they also don't want to deal with the slide off on the side of APG, banning that little bad boy out. On the side of DC, banning out the Lone Druid, although the picks do come through. APG getting their grubby little paws onto the Ember Spirit. They've got another pick coming up for themselves, but Ogre Magi picked up for the side of DC. One thing I do want to mention, thanks to my boy Sargon, if you guys do want to follow him, at Sargon Dota 2, supplied us with a couple of interesting facts.
Yeah.
Just to throw it out there, that we are looking at Lone Druid having a pick rate of almost 4 games out of the 12 master games that we've actually been participated in. So Ogre Magi, pretty hot stuff, but more so is the Rubik sitting on 75% pick during the draft, and not only that, but has a 67% win rate in our SA scene.
Now the Lone Druid sitting at 60% win rate. Ogre Magi not so great. It's been picked a lot. It's been picked in 4 games, but it's only got a 25% win rate. And I wonder why that is, because it's such a tanky support and it does so much work. Maybe it's not getting comboed correctly, not getting placed in the right roles. What do you think's happening here?
I think it's really coming down to the cores. Maybe the cores aren't really positioning themselves properly, and maybe Ogre's been played in the wrong position. They do try and get the Ogre to actually be that roaming support that can actually get the ganks on, and the teams just aren't fulfilling the ganks and are failing on the ganks. We generally see it trying to be the mid lane being ganked, and it just doesn't happen. And when the supports leave their lane, don't get the gank on the hero, they actually lose levels and already they're off onto the back foot. But as that is said, Aperture Gaming picked themselves up a Pudge. We've often seen him being played in this new update. Really strong as a roaming support. Normally played in position 4 and can really do quite a bit of work. DC picking up the Invoker, jumping onto the bans a little bit quick here. Beastmaster being banned out for APG. Luna banned out for APG as well. I really find her a strong hero in this meta.
She really is.
very contested, really. And the bans for damage control, banning out the Jugger, banning out the Dogs here, trying to just get a little bit of better off-lane control here for the side of DC. Maybe it opens up a Nyx option here for the side of DC. We'll see what they decide to move to. What do you think they could actually move towards here?
On Aperture side, I mean, looks like they're going for their, you know, the classic gank strat. I mean, Pudge, obviously, you have to always constantly watch your lanes. The warding has to be, you know, very specific against the Pudge as well, because he can always just come through and hook you out of the lane. And then you have an Ember Spirit who's very good at ganking as well, and also very good in the late game and against illusion-based heroes. So if they did want to pick up themselves like a Medusa or anything to that effect that normally goes to the Manta style, Ember Spirit can deal with illusions pretty fairly well. And it picks off, you know, it's got so much mobility and escape. So he gets like a Lincoln's or, you know, whatever it may be, and they can't really catch him. So, I mean, he can push the lanes out, maneuver around the map, and never really get caught out. And plus, it's also nice for when they try to do the pushing strat. I mean, you got the Bloodlust coming from Ogre Magi, the Invoker with Alacrity. You know, it's, you know, any hero that's good at pushing, and you put those two buffs on him, that hero is going to push every lane down. So Ember Spirit's also good with dealing with huge creep waves. And then now the Vengeful Spirit, very versatile. I mean, she's got that lovely stun, the armor reduction, also good against Drow strats, because Drow hasn't been banned out. Not really being picked really anymore, but, you know, she's also good against that. Plus, she can swap any of her fellow brothers in arms out of trouble, if so need be.
Defensive or offensive swaps coming out from APG, but I was pleasantly graced to actually catch the APG game where Adestam actually played Vengeful as a core. So it may not actually be played as a support, and this could actually be a core Vengeful Spirit, which means APG is still looking for their second support as well as their offlaner now. It kind of throws a span in the works here, because DC probably knows the fact that Adestam played the Vengeful, and now they need to come to show and say, right, well, we still don't know where this Vengeful is going to be played, because Adestam played it as a core. But the Rubik, as we were talking about earlier,
9 games, 9 games in this series he's been picked. 9
games, and on top of that, a massive win rate.
Yeah.
I mean, he's won 9 out of the 12 games he's been played. I think maybe you can find it there for us. But it's a huge win rate here for the Rubik. Supports really
67% win rate on a Rubik out of 12 out of 9 games. 9 out of 12 games, it's won as well. So it's got a fair win rate, and if you have a person that can play that hero properly, and there's so much things to steal. I mean, there's an Invoker on the map. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
There's so much to steal from an Invoker. There's really good spells to steal here. Sakuchi is always one of my favorites to steal when I play a Rubik and I play against the Weaver.
You Sakuchi him back.
Yeah, pretty much.
You Sakuchi. And also the Ogre Magi provides a little bit of abilities to be stowed in there as well. But the Nyx does come out here for the side of damage control. A really decent counter to the Pudge. If he does get hooked away, he just pops that Spark Carapace and then moseys himself away from that scary Pudge. So nice pickup from DC. Kind of expected. Aperture probably felt that they didn't actually need to ban it out, but they're going to have to maybe focus a little bit, as the Nyx also has a decent win rate as well.
But the invis tax is not going to be nice for the supports of APG.
No, they're
going
to have to
you've got a Nyx Assassin, you've got an Invoker that Ghost Walks. You know, it's going to a lot of sentries, and maybe an early gem would be a good idea here. Weaver's a particularly squishy hero. If you get him, you know, if you shut him down.
Well, what happens if APG decide to actually pick up a Lycan for the off lane and then get Necro books with the Lycan? That could
work, yeah.
That could be an option that APG could also look towards. I mean, there's some way to deal with the Invis, especially you have a Weaver and a Nyx on the team. So it is definitely going to look to the point where APG is going to be looking at getting a gem, at least both supports carrying dust sentries constantly.
And it definitely looks like not your theory, but game that you saw with Avenge Core. I think it's leading towards that way as well, because you do have a Pudge and you've got a Rubik and Avenge. So can't have all 3 of them support, so most likely it will be a core Venge.
Adestam, Vengeful Spirit, here we come. It's going to look like it's going to go that way. The 5th and final ban coming out for APG is going to be the Lifestealer, making sure that damage control don't get their hands on that little bad boy. They've got decent carriers on the side of DC to actually make it viable, and it would have been a decent pickup. I mean, Ember Spirit wouldn't do too much damage to the Lifestealer while he's in rage mode, but can still do quite a bit of damage to the side of APG. But there comes the Wilson Classic to the boys out there.
Shout out to my boy.
The boy that gave himself the name as the Disruptor around SA. He's going to be the fifth and final pickup here for the side of damage control. And what's really nice about this hero is it's the particular scary part about it is that when teams decide to disengage, they've always got the option to actually re-engage again. A glimpse is always available, and you get an axe blinking in. Get in the call off. Disruptor says, "Cheers, boys." Glimpse the axe away, and before you know it, he's now got to run back into battle and get back in the swing of things. But anyway, the game is underway. We'll get back to the super actions. But on the side of the Radiant, we have got we've got damage control playing on the side of the Radiant. We have got Stunt playing our Nyx. Mr. Potato Head playing the Disruptor. We've got Traxian going to be playing our Weaver. And Isan going to be playing our Ogre Magi. As well as, I do recall it's Maple.
Maple, yeah.
Maple is going to be playing the Invoker mid. So this is going to be, and wrap it up for the side of damage control. Lovely lady, please do the introductions here for the side of APG.
I just want to say one more thing. I'm seeing the Pudge pick come out for APG. Makes him his flanks just a little bit. You know, my boy is not going to be in the game playing the hero that, you know, he loves to play. And it's going to be kind of sad not seeing him. Anyway, guys, moving swiftly along, we will have... Hold on, I'm on the wrong side over here. Here we go. We have O'Malley playing that lovely axe, that mean axe. One of my favorite heroes, by the way. I don't know about you.
I kind of don't do too well anymore. I prefer my techies.
You like your techies. You like to blow people up and suicide. Then we have Mr. Filthy Frank playing the Filthy Pudge over there. We got ACG playing his classic Ember Spirit. We have Fanboy.
So shout out to all the Veneration boys out there.
Mr. VNR Fanboy, which would be the Bob of Yules or Bob Yules playing the Rubik. And last but not least, we have a Dustin playing the Core Venge.
So APG really throwing a mix of things in here, really picking up and trying to really see how this new meta is going to go. I mean, I've caught a couple of games in the past where this Dota 3 patch or update is kind of leading to teams that are always ready and constantly ready to fight. Yeah. It's not really based around these big cooldowns. Although in the previous games, I actually had to bite my words where a team picked up a Warlock as I think it was as a Magnus as well, if I do recall.
Warlock's intensely good in pretty much all phases of the game. It's good early, it's good mid, and it's good late.
But it's the big cooldowns that was actually, I find, doesn't kind of fit into this meta, but they did prove me wrong. But still, it definitely favors the drafts that want to fight constantly. And the side of APG, they've got that constant fighting. They got that constant fighting draft that APG wants. Also the same for the side of DC. They've got very low cooldowns on the heroes on their side as well. So it's going to be really interesting and super scary when the teams actually go head to head.
Like they haven't got bad team fight. It's not as immense as DC. I mean, they've got the Invoker, they've got the Disruptor, two really big team fight heroes. But I mean, you do still have that huge axe initiation. You've got Ember Spirits. You know, he can also do a lot of damage to, especially if axe gets 2 or 3 heroes. You know, they can run them down. And then you've got the Pudge and the Rubik that can potentially steal some big team fight ultis away from the Invoker or the Disruptor. So they've got a lot of potential on their side as well. They've got very aggressive, tanky heroes on the side of APG. So they will, want to be around the map constantly, make the plays happen, and get pickoffs. I mean, that's what their lineup is designed to do.
I do have a question for you though.
Yeah,
while the bounty runes are about to spawn, and it looks like each team's going to pick up 2 for themselves, so pretty easy. But I got a question. Looking at the drafts purely, who should take it away? I want to hear your prediction.
It's actually hard to say. I would favor APG's draft because it's that aggressive, and it's meant to take on things very early. It's very tanky. It's hard to deal with. You always have to watch out for the Pudjuk. You have to watch out for the Axe Blink, the Venge swapping you in or out, the Rubik stealing your spells, and obviously Ember can go late, very, very late as well. But on the same side of the coin, you've got the nice team fight, the versatile hero like an Invoker. So I mean, it all depends how they decide to play it. But for my particular play style, I would favor the draft of APG.
Well, just looking at the mid lane, Mr. Potato Head actually showing his face here, putting a little bit of damage here onto Mr. ACG on the Ember Spirit. taking quite a bit of damage, already sitting half HP, trying to get those creeps on the high ground, trying to get a little bit more RNG here out for the Invoker, but doing quite a bit of work now at top lane. They may actually be able to pick up stunts here. He's going to go down to the creeps and deny himself to the neutrals.
Yeah.
And Mr. Adaston and Mr. Bobules doing some good work here in the top lane.
And that was very close to him. And luckily, he got himself denied by that creep over there. But I must say, I like in retrospect, I like some of the new changes, especially if you're going into the off lane. You've got like a fountain right there. You've got a rune spawning every 2 minutes that you can get some free XP and gold from. It's also nice for supports when they're roaming. They can pick up some free XP and gold. The map has become a little bit easier to deal with. You don't always have to walk all the way back to base, miss out on your levels. It's a lot easier to accumulate your farm and levels now in Dota.
You'd kind of think that with this kind of style,
Filthy Frank, he just smoked up.
It actually promotes a little bit more of dual lanes, just because you can then send both supports to pick up those bounties, get a little bit more interesting, and try and get those levels, get those gold, because you obviously want to try and give your loss hits to the carry.
Yeah.
So having those bounty runs, you'd kind of think that it promotes more of a dual lane kind of vibe. But so far, I mean, DC running a trial lane here, the side of APG running 2 dual lanes, but Filthy Frank, it looks like he's lining up something very sneaky here.
Yeah, and his hook is only at level 1, so he's going to have to get pretty close to Maple over there at the mid. But yeah, I agree with you completely. I mean, you get more level and experience, and it's a lot easier to solo off lane these days. A lot easier. You've got that little mini fountain there. Ooh, nope, missed his hook.
No, and Filthy Frank, he's going to leave lane, but Mr. Ogre Magi, he's actually invised up. There comes the TPs onto the shrine. Things are going to get super interesting. There comes the bugs from the Weaver. They're going to chase down Filthy Frank, and maybe he can deny himself here. He does have the rot, trying to bear it down, and there comes the rot. Is it going to work? Yes! And it does. He gets the deny off. And quite a big play, actually, pulling out 2 of the heroes away from the lane. So big rotations coming out from the side of DC. Maybe an overreaction, but nonetheless, I think that's a pretty decent win from the side of APG. Space created,
but they saw a big, ugly, fat man in their jungle and they had to retaliate. I mean, come on. No, but I mean, shame. Well, we don't actually have a first blood yet. The first one got denied to creeps, another one got denied by rats. So we're yet to see a first blood, but still quite a bit of action for the first 3 minutes.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm losing breath the amount of kills that are happening around the map, even though the creeps or they deny themselves is happening.
So let's take a look at this axe over here. He should be able to, do quite well here, but having the harass from the Weaver, the double attack every now and again, must be pretty annoying to deal with. And I mean, it's evident he's getting pushed back all the way to his tier 2 tower as an axe, where he's supposed to be the one doing that to them. It's a hard lane for him. Ooh, Pudge lands these hooks.
Filthy Frank, you dirty little dog. You now O'Malley trying to see if he can actually find him out. Battlehanger is going to wear him down a little bit. Filthy Frank coming in position. There's a right. First blood going to Filthy Frank. Eventually getting that well-deserved kill. So hard. Bot lane though. Quite a big dive here from the side of APG, diving down the tier 1. There comes the TP rotation here from the Weaver. He's going to try and see if he can find something here. Bob Yules trying to get those bugs off him at a stam, taking a chunk of damage. There comes the telekinesis. TP in here from his son. They're going to try and see if they can bring down the Rubik. It is going to be a dead Rubik, and Mr. Maple getting a kill here for the side of DC. So far, 1 apiece for either team.
I must say, even though Bob died there, he still, kind of baited them into killing the support.
Mid lane, though. Invoker going down again to Filthy Frank. Filthy Frank, you dirty, dirty dog. You taking the Invoker down almost solo. ACG, not even present. Filthy Frank, you Pudge. Already getting those stacks up. Well, he actually hasn't got anything into Flesh Heap just yet.
Yeah, not yet.
But it's going to soon start paying off for them.
And it's nice for him. I mean, he's maybe not in lane, but he is got a level 4, at 5 minutes as a roaming Pudge. It's really not bad. He's got a few stacks to his name when he does eventually decide to level Flesh Heap. So, I mean, he's well on his way, and especially with that windlace and a pair of boots, he's pretty fast. So he can just, rot someone down, basically. No one can really run away from him now. Unfortunately, the Weaver's Sakuchi was, 4-second, 6-second cooldown, so he couldn't escape either. He had Battle Hunger on him as well. It's just so much slow. You can't get away from that.
I think maybe in the later part of the game, the Weaver is going to become a little bit of a problem. They do have the Pudge hook to maybe try and slow that down. They do have quite a bit to actually deal with the Weaver, so I think maybe first item could actually be that Lincolns we see so often on a Weaver.
Yeah, perhaps. They do try to harass him out a bit. They did stun him down. Maybe one more right click, and yeah, he's definitely going to go down. That's a very, very clean, easy pick off. Did not stack their disables. And then Filthy Frank is all over the map, but they did not need him. Yeah, it was clinical.
Surgical.
Precise.
Technical.
But yeah,
Oxford, contact me if you want more words.
Oxford Dictionary.
Well, but Mr. Maple throwing out those bugs, just being a little bit of an irritation here to the top lane. They do see Filthy Frank in the sidelines. Gets a sneaky little ward here. Going to be able to spot it out. Isan on the sideline. A courier just flies past Mr. Isan, kind of just leaving it. Stuns out Filthy Frank. Gets the hook off. Isan is going to go down like the dust. And now, Filthy Frank taking a chunk of damage, but Mr. Maple goes down as well. Filthy Frank surviving once again on the sliver of HP, deciding if he actually wants to deny himself. And good night, sweetheart. He just wanted to deny himself. Yep.
I think it's because due to the fact that Invoker now has leveled Exhort, so he could potentially, you know, his Sunstrike's not going to do a lot of damage, but it's going to be enough to kill that amount of HP. So, I mean, I think he's just anticipating a Sunstrike, so he'd rather deny himself than die to an Invoker across the map.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this Axe. I mean, he's pretty much been left uncontested in the bot lane. Next almost going down to him as well, surviving on pretty much 200 HP. I mean, Axe is slowly looking towards getting his... he's going to actually go for the Vanguard first, probably build into the Blink a little bit later. How do you feel about that? I mean, sometimes I have a couple of concerns, like do you go the Vanguard first, do you go the Blink first, do you go the Blade Mail first? I mean, what is your take on the situation?
I prefer going Blink first, always, but when you're in an offlane and you're solo offlane, especially how much harassment he was suffering there, when he had the 3 heroes on his tail getting pushed all the way back to his tier 2s, and especially if you farm the way that these guys are farming. But in the mid here, Filthy Frank is here again trying to land a hook and it doesn't succeed, unfortunately. Sorry, Filthy Frank, not this time. Yeah, but for me, they farm a much faster rate than your 3 or 4k player would. So they can have the Blink Vanguard in the same amount of time that a 4 to 3k player would have a Blink.
You're saying like a Jabber, and the amount
like
of time a Jabber could actually farm.
No, it's got nothing to do with you. No, but I mean, a Vanguard in the situation when he's, you know, alone in the lane makes a lot of sense. They did try it. Ooh, oh, shame. I think Mr. Weaver is very dead again.
Oh, Mr. Bob Yule's doing it for the Veneration, lads. Really showing respect there. He does bring down our Mr. Maple in the bot lane. It looks like there's a little bit of a tussle going around here, around the shrine. But it just seems like DC is going to clump up. Could actually be a potential smoke. Do any of them have smoke on them? Not just yet.
No. I must say, there was a very clean kill onto the Weaver there. I mean, Dustin, I think he first swapped the Weaver in, then followed by Bob lifting him straight into the Axe call. So it was, again, very clinical.
Have I started something? Maybe I have.
Yes, you have started something. But it does look like Dustin's going for the straight Vladimir's offering, which makes a lot of sense because most of his team is melee and the tanky guys are
it's
melee.
actually going to be the Dominator.
It's going to be the Dominator, do you think?
Yeah.
Don't you think it's going to be the Howl?
ACG in the mid lane taking a chunk of damage here from the side of DC. Escaping through, having that Remnant available in the backlines. Did actually have double damage, and it looks like DC actually decided to actually back off. Throws a Remnant down, got a TP back to base, and will Remnant back to the mid lane. I mean, this is one of the strengths that an Ember Spirit has.
Yeah, he's very mobile.
He's got very low downtime in the lane. Oh, but it looks like APG want to do something here on Maple, though he's going to wash those dreams away. Not close enough. And Nadastam, O'Malley, and in the sidelines, got Bob Yules. They're going to put a bit of pressure here into the mid-tier 1. And so far, objectives down here for the side of DC. Lost bot tower. They've lost their top tier 1 as well. Next objective is to take down.
This is why I favor this type of drop. It's tanky, it's aggressive. If they start snowballing, there's not much they can do about it. I mean, look how much damage just from Searing Chains and a Battle Hunger that does to this poor Disruptor. And it's not even on full levels yet. So, I mean, this is what they can do. They can literally snowball and push their way. And even though they haven't got the strongest pushing lineup, they just got a very tanky, heavy initiating team.
Well, stunt on the next, gets the Vendetta off, gets the stun. Adastam, he's been the target of choice, gets the hook off onto the Invoker. He's in the backlines, being sorted out. Now Ogre Magi in the middle of things, he's going to go down as well. Maple time-lapse out of that huge disaster over there. Amel is still hunting down stunt, but yeah, Disruptor, he's going to be able to walk it off and pretty much APG take a 3 for 0 fights in the mid lane.
Yeah, for me that was kind of confusing because I mean it was clear that the tower was theirs. Why go and initiate after the tower's down? You know, that's
A wrong fight.
Yeah, it was the wrong fight to take there. I think it really was, and it's evident it cost them quite a bit. I mean, the shame the poor next assassin just trying to get a pick off, but don't dive into 4 heroes. It's not going to end well.
And I think if he's trying to get a pick off, maybe go for the Rubik. I think the team's more willing to let a Rubik die than a Destin die. So if that's going to happen, maybe rather go for the Rubik. The team would then rethink the situation and say, okay, take the Rubik. We'll sacrifice that lad, but if it's at a Destin, you're going to see APG actually get involved and keep their core alive.
And unfortunately for him, they had a sentry mid. I mean, it's kind of a thing, you push a tower with invis heroes and they might get a pick off here onto the axe. It does look like he's definitely going to go down there.
Ooh, Maple getting the last kill there on the EMP. I mean, now those are the kind of plays that we want to see, but I mean, Axe completely caught with his pants down on the wrong side of the map and really showing the strength here on the side of DC. The question is, the time now is 12 minutes into the game. We're sitting 3-9 at the moment. What do you see DC doing or getting right to get back into this game? I mean, we've got Maple, very low net worth at the moment. He's sitting below the roaming support page.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate as a mid-invoker that you got such little items, and unfortunately the Weaver is also stuck with next to nothing as well. And he hasn't even got a pair of boots to his name. I mean, he's gone for the Blightstone and his Perseverance, going straight for that Lincoln's by the look of things. Unfortunately, the Ward is going to scout them out there as well. So it's a bit unfortunate, but it does look like 1 smoke is broken, 2 smokes are broken. They don't know that it's ACG, so maybe he can get a solo pick-off onto Potato Head.
Well, Mr. Potato Head, he smelt something, but there comes a Static Storm. Going to keep in position. Mr. Potato Head, Reggie surviving through it, and that ACG is down. And Nick's picking up the kill there, so stunt.
Yeah, ACG not making the most wise decision there, I feel.
Maybe getting a little bit overconfident.
Yeah, not just overconfident, just maybe over aggressive. They can be that aggressive if everyone's there. If the axe is there, the pudge is there, everyone's there. But going into tier 2 when there are 4 heroes right next to him, it's not a good idea. But I mean, it was unfortunate. It was a nice try. But I mean, a disruptor with ulti and glimpse, you don't really want to mess with. It doesn't matter what level you are.
No.
He's going to get away.
That Static Storm actually completely won that fight for them.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been able to remnant away. And that's what he's actually hoping for, just to try and get that quick pick off on to Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
Remnant out and easy pickings, but it just didn't work out that way. Static Cloud was off cooldown and made it easy.
Yeah, like you can see his rationale and what he wanted to do, but he doesn't quite do that amount of damage just yet. Maybe in another 10 minutes he could easily do that, but not now.
Well, I mean, he has gone for the Veil build. He looks like he's actually building towards that Blink. BOTs also for Mr. ACG. Doesn't look like we're going to see that Octarian up just anytime soon, but there comes the MP. Not going to really do too much yet at Destin. Still got enough to throw out the magic missile. Now Invoker taking the chunk of damage. They're trying to focus him down, but there goes a Destin. He's been the focus of attention here, but no, the Nyx goes down. And the melee coming out from nowhere, getting those calls off, and now Filthy Frank putting another kill towards his name. And APG looking super strong. You're going to take down the tier 2 in the bot lane. And DC just surrender the bot lane. The 2 supports, the mid lane, are the only ones to still walk off that harassment from APG.
Dastam should not have survived there. He was on nothing that fight. They got him down to almost nothing, and he just powered through. But
the supports from the side of APG doing their job completely. I mean, we had the Axe and we had Filthy Frank as well as Dastam fighting in this area here.
Yeah.
But the rest of DC sitting here completely broken off from the fight that was taken there. And a Dastam being able to live through it because they stopped the onslaught from the Invoker.
Yeah, I mean, you got ACG pushing the Invoker back. Invoker's forced to use defensive spells to try get away, so they can't unfortunately finish off the kill. So I mean, they were in the right time at the right place, and like we said before, aggressive heroes, very tanky. They can take a lot of beatings. And we've seen Filthy Frank's inventory, 6 sentry wars.
Yeah, he's not taking any chances this time around, but. Mr. Fanboy here, Bob Yule's going to be spotted out here by Maple. There comes the Vendetta. Easy pickings, and this is what we want to see. ACG now comes to the forefront. Carapace is going to keep ACG in place, but O'Malley with a big dunk. Call now. Hook coming back from Filthy, but not landing on the Invoker. Adastam picking up the last right kill, the last right hit there, bringing down poor Mr. Maple, and things are going not too well here for the side of DC. Taking a look at the net worths at the moment, sitting almost 12.5k in advance here of the side of DC. Experience also similar stories, sitting at about 8k in the lead. So APG, they've really got something going here for them. And where do you think things went wrong here for the side of DC?
Well, I think it's due to the fact that
Going wrong. Let's not jump to conclusions here. I think DC still has the tools to actually try and do something here.
No, 8k behind is not that bad, but I mean, you can still come back from an 8k disadvantage, especially in this meta. It's not all that hard, but unfortunately they've got like a few squishy weak heroes on the side of DC, and unfortunately they've got these tanky, very big initiation heroes on the side of APG, and you've got an axe with a blink dagger, you've got a punch hook you out, you've got a venture swap you out, you've got this Ember Spirit that's now got boots of travel as well as a Veil of Discord, so to add insult to injury. It's a problem when they've got most of their core items up by now. They've got more levels, and it's really hard to contest against that, especially when you're against the tanky lineup. But I think where it all went wrong is just purely due to the rotations from Filthy Frank and Bob. They made some fantastic plays around the map, and they kept the pressure up. They kept the pressure going. They're not stopping, and they need to continue to do this. And, beautiful hook onto Ishan over there.
He's going to go down easy peasy here for the side of APG. Mr. Bob Yule's actually stealing out the Fire Blast. So, I mean, using his own weapons against him. I mean, you'd swear this is some kind of Middle Eastern kind of vibes going on over here.
Mediterranean vibes.
Yeah, well, there's no techie, so it can't really be, that kind of vibe. But anyway, Mr. Bob Yule's picking up a beautiful little sweet kill. It now opens the shrines here. They're going to start wearing down these little bad boys. And, I mean, that's 150 gold in their pocket. They'll probably move to the top one. Rosh has still not been contested just yet. He's still in the pit. And he's ready to make someone very, very happy.
So do you think they're going to need Rosh to push up the high ground? Or do you think they just need to, get a nice axe call, maybe some searing chains into, some blades? And
the question is, why wouldn't they want to jump into Rosh?
They're not like super far ahead, but they're far ahead enough to take the game right now if they really wanted to. I mean, you've got a Weaver that's only now got boots, like full build boots. Invoker has no items to speak of, and they're very under-leveled as well. I mean, sitting at level 12, Invoker's sitting at level 12, but that's understandable. He gets those levels pretty fast. But, I mean, the Poor Disruptor's sitting only at level 7. The Weaver's only sitting at level 10. I mean, these heroes are very under-leveled and underfound. So, I mean, if they wanted to do something, like, it's, fairly easy for them. Nyx Assassin does, however, got a Blink Dagger, so that could make some difference.
I don't know how I feel about the Blink. I mean, maybe they need some form of initiation. Maybe that's what they lacked in their draft, is that form of initiation.
Invoker's their initiator. Nyx Assassin is supposed to be the initiator onto like one hero. Maybe if he's lucky, he can blink in and get like a nice little mini Ravage, on 3 or 4 heroes. And
ooh, Filthy skinning the ass of that flippin' Isan. But there comes the jump from Amali. Blade Mail gonna go to boot, and Mr. Isan, quite a tanky little chap. He's gonna try and walk it off, but Magic Missile right, and Mr. Bob Hills getting another kill. I mean, so deservedly, sitting with dust as well as a gem. I mean, this is one rich little Rubik running around here.
I mean, shame. You think you're safe, okay, I'm back on my high ground. I'm far enough away from the trouble. I've stopped everyone's blinks. Nope, along comes Axe and you're gone. And unfortunately, ACG does not have reveal there, so he can't really... Oh, but they do catch him with the call.
And it's going to be one... Mr. Maple, I think I've got a job for you. I've got a waffle that needs a little bit of maple syrup on it. Ooh, there goes the instant dodge blink from Mr. Stott on the next. Girlfriend must love you there, my boy. And he's going to just try and run away. Has actually got Vendetta out and going to work away. You know what I would have liked to have seen? Maybe a couple up with the Nyx, maybe a Darkseer. I mean, they do want to run the Nyx in the off lane solo. But I mean, running a dual lane with Darkseer, maybe a Nyx. I mean, also something often that we haven't seen is a Ricky.
Yeah.
I think that the side of DC, they kind of had a plan. I feel the Weaver kind of got overwhelmed a little bit. Never got the farm that he really needed.
Well, they've been putting a lot of pressure onto the side of DC with the axe blinks, the Filthy Frank's amazing hooks and rotations, and obviously the mobility of that Ember Spirit is insane. And then Adasim is pretty much uncontested as well. I mean, yes, he's playing Avenge, but it still does enough damage if you play it into the carry role. But it's just the amount of pressure that these heroes are able to put on, and some of these heroes on the side of DC need space before they can get big. Oh, beautiful ulti coming down there from the Disruptor, though.
Yeah, he gets 2 caught in there. The kinetic field is just going to hold 1 in place at the moment. The Pudge gets Maple. He does go down. Big dunk coming out from Mr. O'Malley. Now they going to actually retreat out here a little bit. Going to still try and defend the high ground. There comes Dastum getting that swap off. Going to bring down Mr. Potato Head. He goes down. So does the Nyx. But Aegis is on the deck. He's going to be coming back in any second now. They're still chasing down Mr. Ceiling Bob Traxian. He's going to actually just Sakuchi out of there. And this could be a tier 3 taken in favor of APG. Mr. O'Malley hiding in the trees, trying to see if he can get off a brilliant call initiation. He does. There it is. He's going to get Mr. Traxian. He's going to go down pretty easy over here. Now, maybe try and see if they can find more, but no, they get the kill on Mr. Potato Head as well after that bar back. So pretty much a dive back coming out from him. Mr. Traxian also bars back now here on the Weaver, trying to come in from the side. Maybe try a side approach here. I mean, they try on every angle over here. His son coming also here, trying to back up his Weaver. Not going to happen. ACG jumping quite deep, but stun. Gets the stun off. There's the Carapace, going to hold him in place. And Mr. Bobules jumping forward. And the next is down a wild couple of spins coming out from him. And no, this is an absolute disaster here coming out from the side of DC. Barback after barback just going down. Adestam getting that stun off here onto Mr. Maple. Going to keep the invoke out for the moment. But while all that's happening, they do lose the top lane of Rax.
Yeah.
After a couple of barbacks, after a couple of deaths, and APG is now looking at pushing in mid. And the GG is called. Pretty clinical, pretty surgical, pretty technical kind of stuff coming out from the side of APG. They do throw out the Sunstrike as their last hurrah, but that is it. The side of DC tap out. They can't take any more, and things kind of went a little awry for them. I mean, what do you feel kind of went negatively for them?
Like I said, they've got heroes that need some time to come online. Weaver can do great if he has the right supports, which he did in retrospect. But like I said, the early initiation from Filthy Frank, like hooking and rotating around, the instant TP rotations, then having the axe come online so early, getting kind of left alone after they were putting a lot of pressure onto the axe, giving him almost nothing in the beginning. But then they had to start making rotations and helping other lanes. So they were effectively losing every lane, if you want to put it that way. And after that, once they get the blink daggers up, they get the core items up onto these heroes. There's not much they can do against it. I mean, look how poor this Weaver was, and he died 8 times. 8 times.
And I mean, he's got a perfect escape as well.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I know how that feels. Being that carry, that just gets completely shut down. There's nothing you can do. You're squishy. You've bought back, you've tried everything possible, and they just didn't get a break. APG just didn't give them room to breathe. They just continued their assault. And
that goes to say that this kind of meta kind of supports the fact that teams want to constantly fight.
Yeah.
They want to constantly bring the fight to one another. And that's why we've seen great success with Slardars, Centaur Warrunners, the Nyx, the Rubiks. We've seen a lot of success with them. I don't think the draft from DC was all too bad.
No,
maybe the Weaver just couldn't get enough. Maybe they could have swapped out the lanes or maybe done something a little bit different. But I mean, APG kind of realizing what this meta is about and just took it to them, and DC had no response for it.
Oh, like we've seen in the past. I mean, APG kind of sticks to the meta where it doesn't really. They try different things. They don't really stick to the meta picks, the meta drafts. So maybe that does hurt them a bit. Maybe APG, in that sense, knows the game a bit better. But like I said, in the beginning, I favor the draft of APG just because it's so aggressive, and because if you snowball with that type of draft, there's no stopping you. Like, what are you gonna do? What are the heroes gonna do? And especially against like heroes like Weaver, type of thing. Disruptor was a good counter pick to it. You can glimpse whoever's getting called. You can glimpse Axe after he's called someone. You can drop that nice big static storm. It gives Invoker time to combo. Ogre time to bloodlust that Weaver for him to do some damage. But just he never got to that point. He never got to the farm where he was actually right clicking for any type of significance. So it's just unfortunate, and we'll have to see what happens in the second game.
Well, I want to go through the screens here, if you guys do permit me. So I'm going to go back to our post-match analysis, and I think the biggest item that changed the game was when Filthy Frank picked up his windlace. That's when the game was won.
You really think the boots and moonlace?
The boots and the moonlace.
The first item that he ever picked up won the game, guys.
No, look, I mean, it was a good timing here. Well, it was a good thing from what Filthy Frank actually achieved and actually got done constantly throughout the map. So, I mean, this meta kind of promotes rotations, promotes those kind of ganking and moving around. The only problem is if it doesn't work, it becomes a little bit of a tough situation for players to actually deal with.
Yeah.
So we're going to be moving into the lobby pretty soon. Guys, go grab a snack. We're going to keep you pretty entertained thus far, but don't go too far away. Go get a drink. We're going to be back with the action pretty shortly.
It's just for me, honestly, it all comes down to, who played their draft better. And in this game, ACG. It's pretty evident. Like they've picked the classic, roaming, ganking heroes. I mean, Pudge is not something you want to deal with early game. You always get hooked out of a lane, or you always have to keep an eye open. You have to have your warding in very specific places, so you don't get blindsided by the thing. And then obviously the axe is something you don't want to deal with. Blink daggers, the call into blade mail, into a lot of pain, and he was getting a lot of spins off there. I mean, in the end fight, shame. I mean, Invoker tried his best, Maple tried his best to save Traxian by cold snapping the axe, but the axes just kept spinning. And he was so slowed by that time that he just couldn't get away, and that last spin got him. There's nothing you can do about it. And
so now
RNG was with him.
he was praying. He was praying to the RNG.
Yeah.
Now moving into the second game. We've got the one game under the belt. APG performed a very decent performance. How do you move into the second game? What does DC kind of do now? Do they now look at banning out the Pudge? Do you think APG will go into the Pudge? A crazy stat Mr. Sargon Dota 2 actually put together for us here is in the previous series that they played, neither teams actually picked up
the same heroes, yeah.
No same hero. I mean, does that mean that because they were banned out and denied those picks for the other teams? Or do you think it was just the fact that they said, right, well, we're going to keep things completely mixed up here and spice it up a little bit?
I think everyone, including the casters, the players, everyone's still trying to, figure out their way in the new patch. Because you can't possibly learn everything in the short amount of time that it's been there. So I think testing out new drafts, testing out different hero talents and trees, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work is a thing for teams. They're still playing around with the new changes. And I think that's got a lot to do with how they're picking and drafting, and also due to the fact that these players know each other very well. So it's
not the first time they've gone up against one another.
No, not at all. But I mean, but the same bans are coming out. Warlock, though, being banned out, which we didn't see previously.
We've seen a little bit of success in one of the VNR versus Energy games. They actually played the Warlock. Actually did extremely well.
Yeah.
Even with the huge cooldowns coming out from the Warlock, still did extremely well. But now things are really kind of exploding. Out of the gates, we've got APG now getting their hands onto the Slardar, picking up the Pudge here for the side of DC. Interesting stat that Slardar favors the Radiant in this patch, 62% to 38%.
That's insane.
Shout out to PoozaCast. That's what
Pooza.
That's a little crazy stat that he told me. So Slardar actually favoring the Radiant a little bit more this time. APG.
4 noobs and a captain.
Four noobs and a captain. Yeah, Pooza the captain. The rest of us were the noobs.
No, but I mean, it's always like that. Hey, you ban out some heroes, and one hero will always fall through. And they've been banning out or picking Slardar pretty frequently, and with good reason. I mean, he's got an amazing gun, blink dagger initiation as well when he gets that point, and obviously that armor reduction, the bash. He's extremely fast as well, even without a blink dagger, because of that lovely speed boost that he gets. So I mean,
we should call him Wade, our SA runner with that sprint mode of his.
Yeah, but that Slytherin crush into his nice little armor reduction ulti over there, and with a few bashes, he can actually carry pretty efficiently as well.
Did you know that his ultis actually changed names? They felt that Amplify wasn't cool enough anymore.
It's the haze.
So now it's called the Corrosive Haze.
It's the haze. Not a viper. Don't.
Do you think that it may be coming from his bum, and that's why they call it corrosive? Well,
oh God.
Anyway, talking about the bands here for the side of APG,
still the same.
Warlock. We never spoke about the Beastmaster, and Vision. Trying to deny the Vision game for the side of damage control has been quite a significant thing. It was also banned out in the first game as well. I mean, he gets that Hawk up, and it just gives quite a lot of information. Yeah, but it looks like they're going to pull the old switcheroo.
Yeah.
DC. They're going to pick up the Ember Spirit as well. So we're going to see if DC can actually do something that went very well for the side of APG. For those of you that are just joining us, this is game number 2. APG picked up game number 1, damage control, now playing from the back. Pretty similar draft here from both teams. We've got pretty much, you can imagine the heroes being swapped around, although Slardar is new to the draft. But APG, Filthy Frank playing the Pudge. We had ACG playing the Ember Spirit, but this time around, damage control actually picking up this little bit of a draft. Do you think they can make it work the same kind of way? Do you think damage control can actually make it the same kind of vibe as what they did in the first game?
Well, maybe, but the thing is, Ishan, the guy that played the Ogre Magi last game, he normally plays the Ember, whereas Maple was the one going mid with the Invoker last game. So it'd be interesting to see who's going to be playing this Ember.
Well, I do know that that Ishan was actually the mid for DUC, for Duck Gaming, and a pretty decent mid for Duck. So changing roles around, so we may actually see him now play the mid.
Maybe, because I mean, I know him to play that hero quite well and quite efficiently. So, I mean, we do see teams doing role swaps. I mean, if you have a versatile team, it's better, like you can.
If the person can play the Ember better than the other person, then play it. I mean, it's if it's your comfort hero, regardless of the position. I think in this kind of league that we're dealing with here, this Masters League, I think players are very familiar with being able to play the other roles, just so that also from a point of understanding. I mean, I heard one of the players say that if you're a core hero, play support so you can understand the limitations of what a support could actually do and provide to you as a carry, and it gives you a big understanding of what the responsibilities are. So as we're talking about them changing positions, swapping roles, very possible.
It could be possible, but I do agree with you with the whole Beastmaster. For me, Vision wins games, Wards win games, and Beastmasters,
I have a question though. Wards don't deal any damage. Why buy Wards?
You need Vision. You must have Vision. No, I like to see the map, because I'm one of those people that constantly look at my mini-map. So if I can't see the heroes coming, and when I could have,
Talcom would disagree with you.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I really do think Vision is a huge factor in winning a game. Good warding, good vision. You can see where heroes where people are rotating. So even if they do smoke up, you're like, okay, can't see them on the map anymore. Let's get back to our tower because we cannot see them because we have vision there. We just saw the whole team there. Now they're not there anymore. So I mean, it's obvious.
It's creating a picture. It's creating a picture. You've got
it gives you information.
You've got two heroes because you see them here. Then they communicate with the team. They know what's happening, and then the other team can make plays based off that.
Yeah, you just have more information with wards, and it helps you figure out where you're going to go farm, where you're going to rotate. You can say, okay, these two heroes just TP'd here, so I can push that lane. That if you don't have a ward behind the tower, for instance, you won't know that those heroes have TP'd in there, for instance. So you'll go onto that tower and then get completely destroyed because now you're not just dealing with one, you're dealing with three.
Well, jumping onto the draft really quickly, we've got the bans coming out. Typical Lone Druid being banned out here for the side of DC as well as the Faceless. For the side of APG, banning out the Sand King, this time also banning out the Rubik. So I think this is going to be the first time In a while that we're not going to actually see the Rubik being played. Pickups coming in from DC. Going to be the Axe and the Lich.
I like it.
I
like
mean,
it a lot.
The Lich, not very common in the CM kind of mode.
Yeah. You should also win a lane with a Lich, though. I mean, you think about it. You got Sacrifice. Like, you're constantly getting XP. You've got very, very good spam with Frost Blast. Then you've got the Ice Armor as well, which is very, very good. And obviously a nice Blink Axe Call with his ulti. His Chain Frost can do magic. You know, like huge. It will be a huge team fight.
What core do damage control pick up here? Because they are sitting very heavy melee at the moment.
They are.
Do they pick up a Drow? Do they pick up the Sniper? Do they put Ember in the safe lane, put Sniper in the mid lane? It could still be a little bit of a...
Look, I wouldn't put a Sniper on the map with a Lifestealer, Crystal Maiden, a Slardar, and Invoker. I mean, Slardar can just blink onto the Sniper every time and take care of him. Invoker can reach to him at the back with a nice Tornado EMP. Lifestealer eats Strength Heroes for breakfast, so it's gonna be a harder game for a Pudge and an Axe at the moment with a Lifestealer on the map. But I wouldn't put a Sniper here at all. I would, however, put a hero that can be tanky, but also fight early. So maybe like something like a Morphling. I would maybe pick here. Maybe a Morphling. It used to be very strong in the old meta. Very, very strong. It still is strong. It still does a lot of work. You've got decent nuke with a Morphling. You've got decent escape. You can push out lanes. You can be sneaky. And obviously, it's a hero that does quite a lot of damage. And it pushes efficiently. So I think it's a hero that could be viable here. Also, Luna hasn't been banned out. They could also pick up themselves a Luna. That hasn't come through the banning phase yet.
It's also a good BKB carrier.
Very good BKB
can
carrier.
actually dodge a lot of the Invoker as well as the CM nonsense that goes on there.
A problem with a Morphling and Lifestealer, though. Morphling Lifestealer doesn't really... You don't really pick a Morphling into an LS.
Well, lucky for us, it's not up to us to actually make that decision. This is going to be up to damage control to actually see what they're going to actually do here to actually prevent this.
I really like the Crystal Maiden pickup. You don't see her often. You don't really see a Crystal Maiden often, and she does quite a lot of work. I mean, she's got nice anti-carry, Frostbite, you can't attack anything, you rooted her down.
Ooh,
Enigma. Wow.
Enigma, yes.
The black holes. We're going to see some juicy combinations, but I think Enigma is going to get more picked up because of, the Invoker, Forge Spirits, the Eidolons, nice early pushing potential. But, it's also, the obvious, carrier for, say, the mech or the pipe or whatever he wants to do.
From the Enigma. And he's got great pushing potential. I mean, we witnessed the game last night, or I witnessed the game last night, where Black Hole wasn't even top priority. It was just the pushing potential that the Enigma has. I mean, you focus the Eidolons, you focus the Pulse, and you just kind of push the lane out. The Lifestealer pickup, though, I mean, we haven't really spoken about this. I mean,
Centaur.
It doesn't... I do like this pick, though. This is great for initiation. I mean, they've got Axe and they've got the Centaur. But, I mean, the Lifestealer, they've got a really good vessel in terms of the Slardar Blink maneuver.
Yeah.
They've got that available. So, it makes it a little bit easier. I mean, Enigma, if he can pick up the Blink as well, got a couple of ways for the Lifestealer to actually move around. So it makes it a little bit easier for the side of APG to actually get their movements on. But welcome to game number 2 of Damage Control versus APG. APG this time around going to be playing on the Radiant. Mr. ACG going to be on our Invoker. We've got... Filthy Frank going to be playing our Slardar this time. So it's actually going to be a position for Slardar. Yeah. We've got Bob Yule's going to be playing our lovely CM. I do actually like this chick. Yeah. Very nice with blonde hair. We've got Alistan going to be playing our Lifestealer. Check out those claws, man. Oh my gosh, he looks like an absolute killer.
He does. That mask makes him look pretty evil as well.
He's even got his little mascot sitting beside him here, the courier. But enough of shenanigans. Looking in the top lane, and Mr. O'Malley going to be playing on our Enigma. And the side of the Dire. Please, my lovely lady, take it away.
Well, we have Stealing Noob, a.k.a. Trexian, playing that Centaur Runner. We got Stunt on that Axe, Mr. Reggie Potato Head on the Lich. We have Ishan playing the disgusting of Pudgerunos. And then last but not least, we have Maple on the Ember Spirit. So I guess they're going to stick to Maple being the mid.
And without craziness coming out from him, changing his name once again, he's going to be known as Ghoul. one of those monsters. They do spot out the sentry ward quite early in the beginning here. So that's going to be super sad here for the side of APG. Filthy Frank just not being able to get close enough to actually make that happen, and being able to spot that out. So denying it a little bit of that camp deny here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was actually in position to actually block out this camp. So, I mean, the side of DC at least off to a decent start, spotting out that sentry, at least giving a little bit of a backup here to the side of DC. Should they need to actually send Axe into the jungle to actually get his farm on?
Well, now the Invoker's in the hands of Mr. ACG, so we're going to have to see how this works now. But it does look like he is choosing to go for the Exort build and not for the, the Quas-Wex, the EMP Tornado build. So it does look like he's going to go for that early Forge Spirit, the Sunstrike snipes across the map. And it does look like they're going to do that early push strat with the Eidolons.
Oh, no.
No, it's not. It's their courier. He's okay. It's just the ball.
I know they're going to actually try and pull here. Yes, and they're actually going to try and deny farm here to the mid lane for APG.
Very good play. Very good play.
It's a super sneaky. This is the kind of stuff we see in TR. But first blood going in favor of APG. We did miss that. Super unexpected. Lich going down very quickly. And I mean, the kill potential here in this bot lane. Something we haven't spoken about. The CM got her frostbite, slowed down the Lich. And then Filthy Frank followed up with a stun. And then Adestam just doing a couple of right clicks and already got 1 kill to their name.
Yeah, he didn't even have open wounds available to him, so he obviously just got stun locked.
No, APG doing some decent work here. They're going to run a little bit of a dual lane in the bot lane. Going to leave Traxian here alone in the top against Mr. O'Malley. And we're going to allow their Pudge to kind of roam, similar to the similar strat that APG ran in the previous game. But mid lane though, ACG taking a little bit of a pounding here.
I do feel like it's a bit more balanced, the drafting, this time around. Like, DC hasn't got that very weak draft like they did last time. They have a much stronger draft this time, and one that can contest APG's draft quite a bit. So I think it should be a more even, well-rounded game this time around.
Who won the previous lane in the mid?
Oh, that definitely APG.
Well, now this time round, Evoker looked, but let me just jump into the bot lane here. Stun taking a chunk of damage, gets the stun out here from Filthy. Gonna actually try and right click him down and actually decide to pull it off. They're gonna leave the Sunstrike that misses.
Oh, that was so close.
Skin off his teeth, and
That
teeth
was so
don't even
close.
have skin.
Teeth don't even have skin. Well, technically they do. We've got gums.
Well, teeth, I mean, your teeth are inside your gums. I never said gums. I never said by the skin of your gums. I said by the skin of your teeth.
By the skin of your gums. Yeah, but that was very, very close. I mean,
Yeah.
yo. If you just step back like one little bit.
It would have been a completely different story. But the mid matchup,
Crystal
it's
Maiden
going to
getting
be
low here. Why is she getting so low? Oh no.
better hit. Putting a little bit of love on here. But now Mr. Adestam rocks up to the party. Going to be easy peasy. Adestam picking up another kill here in the bot lane for himself. I mean, this bot lane is going really well here for the side of APG. Just can't get enough done here on the side of DC. And I think this is the moment where you say, right, well, bot lane's just kind of feeding at the moment. Let's get our X out of it. Let's get our Lich out of it. Let's not give them those extra kills and just try and see if they can actually make something happen around the map. And Isan missing the hook on O'Malley. That would have surely been a dead enigma for us.
Everything's so close. Sunstrikes, the hooks. I mean, that was like also extremely, extremely close. What would you call this match? Nail biting.
Nail biting. Well, I mean, I'd say maybe just moments of grandeur, because it's something that, because things that really never happen.
I must say, Enigma going offlane is very viable. I mean, he's got those two beautiful creep camps. Like I said previously, he's got the mini fountain and obviously the bounty rune that spawns. And he can, you know, pretty much stay out of lane once his Eidolons are at a certain level. Oh!
Ooh, moments of grandeur. But there we go. Filthy Frank coming in. There's going to be the Sunstrike. Taking a chunk of damage will be good, but he's going to Fury Fire up. There comes the Flame God. Not going to be good enough. ACG getting himself a kill, but now Mr. Sun getting himself into trouble here. Maybe he should have paused himself around the other way, but taking a little bit of damage, but he's going to actually survive. Mr. Stunt TP's in immediately, trying to see if he can actually prevent the onslaught, and he does, getting the side of APG back, and he says, listen boys, stop bugging with my people now. Mr. Potato Head over here trying to see if he can actually make something happen, and I think the call was actually to back off.
Yeah.
And APG still getting the kill on the Isan. The Sunstrike came through. I don't even know where the wait, I know how we find it. Actually died here in the In the
I
bottom
think he maybe
river
just
there.
got right click down, or did he show fight recap? Maybe we'll see.
Just
Just
right
some
click.
right clicks.
Just
Yeah.
some right clicks, easy. Easy.
Hey.
But he was very low HP, so even Isan being in that vicinity was very precarious and shouldn't have been there. Adestam kind of left to his own devices. Not sitting too well in terms of last hits. He's actually fourth on the log. The Centaur actually doing the best amongst the two teams here, sitting 25 and 8. So really doing well in this lane. Hasn't even picked up his Tranquils yet, actually going straight for the Vanguard.
They've got more than enough initiation with the Ember, the Axe. He doesn't really need to, immediately.
Ooh, and the hook comes through from the Pudge. Finally getting a melee, but the Black Hole catches out too. There's the Sunstrike. And the Sun taking a chunk, and it still gets denied, but they pick up the kill and on Maple as the stun comes through from Filthy Frank.
Wow, those rotations. That was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Like, that was textbook. That you can call clinical.
No, I think that was like creating music, like Mozart.
Creating music like Mozart or Bach, or something to that effect. That was brilliant play, I must say. That Black Hole was beautiful.
Oh, so sexy, so sexy. Sunstrike actually landing, but not dealing just enough damage. And ACG gonna be kicking himself for that one.
Hey, it's a Super Saiyan Invoker.
Super Saiyan.
Look, I always think that makes him look like a Super Saiyan.
Well, now Stunt giving a little bit of love here to the Axe. Does actually have a bottle charge. Doesn't actually spawn at the bottom. There comes the Stampede. Top lane though. They're trying to see if they can find something. Maple just used to actually pull him back. But now his Sun catching out Filthy Frank. There's a Sunstrike. Going to put some damage onto the Pudge. And not going to be able to do anything after that. Pudge kind of tanky in the early parts of the game over here.
Yeah, he's pretty tanky, but he's not doing as well as the Pudge last game. Pudge last game at 5 minutes was already almost level 5 and had a bit more to his name, but he is landing those hooks and he's trying his best. So I mean, his rotations are pretty good. And Ishan is playing relatively well, I would say, but the rotations, I mean, it feels like APG are everywhere. I mean, you would think that would be a nice quick pick off onto the Enigma. Nope, Black Hole comes in. I mean, Mali's right there, followed up by the Crystal Maiden. It's just, everything just, it's going really well for them yet again. I mean, DC have yet to get a kill to their name here.
Well, you blink once and all of a sudden Adestam top of the logs in terms of last hits. They're going to pick up the tier 1 tower bot, putting some more gold in his pocket as well. So now you start seeing the Life Stealer accelerating his farms, got himself the phase boots, got the Blight, probably looking at building into Deso just a little bit later. He has got the armlet up, but now Isan picking up the kill on the Invoker. Invoker dying in the mid lane. So it looks like Isan is starting to come to the party. Hook, rot, a couple of stuff coming out from the Ember Spirit, and that is going to equal a dead Invoker.
It does look like he got Searing Chained, and then it's obviously easy hook. And then he's got 2 rot stacks on him, so it was a fairly easy kill for them onto the Invoker. Unfortunately, he didn't really have time to do more. He did try to invoke, but obviously not quick enough on those fingers.
Yeah, this time around, the Axe here for the side of DC actually opting to go for the blink this time around first.
Oh, on the Axe, yeah.
On the Axe.
Yeah, well, I think it's because they're falling kind of behind with 5 kills to the side of APG. So they're going to look for the Axe just to initiate, to bring the team fight together and get the more farmed heroes to do most of the damage until the Axe can, get that Blade Mill, get that Vanguard up, all those good. Yeah, I think it's in this game particularly, it's a good option. But it does look like, shame Bob Yule's poor Crystal Maiden. Chop.
Oh, there comes the Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that... no hope there for the little cuddly Crystal Maiden.
And Stampede just to ensure the easy, quick escape. I mean, these are what you call criminals. Easy in, easy out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Filthy Frank does not have that Blink Dagger up just yet. He's almost there. I believe he'll be going for that item first. So I think as soon as the Slardar has that nice little blink, we'll see a little bit more plays happen. But they have a lot of team fight on the side of APG at the moment. I mean, you got that Crystal Maiden ulti, the Black Hole, the Invoker to throw down meteors and meatballs and sunstrikes. You got so much here. And now they're starting to push with these Eidolons and Forge Spirits.
Well, Isan trying to line himself up here for a hook. Stun doesn't have his... Oh, they catch the Invoker under the tier 1. There comes the call, but he has been frostbitted out. Got to be his son. There's the Black Hole catching out 3 massive plays coming out here from the Enigma. And now Reggie in the back lines picking up were doing a little bit of damage there, but O'Malley picking up 2 kills on his son as well as the Centaur. Now O'Malley going toe-to-toe against Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head's going to live. There's the cause, going to be good, and O'Malley does go down. Another TP coming in here from Isan, and just trying to stop the onslaught here from the side of APG. It was pretty much a 3 that...
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it was a bit of a misplay from ACG there. He blasted them out with a deafening blast, a little bit away from the team fight, so they kind of had to try come back and chase into the tower. I think maybe the deafening blast was a bit of a mistake there. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's the one thing I think maybe he shouldn't have done.
Well, I mean, it still worked out for them. They did get a couple of kills, put on the damage. I think it was almost the time duration was almost up as well.
It was 2 for 2 though. It's a fairly even trade-off.
I actually thought they got ACG, but super
he
sneaky.
got out. Yeah, he got out.
Super sneaky.
Like he was on no HP and he deafening blasted afterwards. But yes, the black hole was nearly over. It's not that. It just pushed all of them back so that the Slardar they couldn't.
They created ground. They created space.
They couldn't get to the right click the heroes unless they go into the tier 1 tower. So I think that was a slight of a bit of a misplay by SCG.
Well, you see, whatever I miss, Succubus is here to catch you out, boys of APG. You can't get anything past.
I'm watching.
You can't get anything past her.
Sorry, boys.
Now O'Malley sitting in the bot lane, just making sure they keep this tier 1 at a reasonable HP. Something to note, they've lost the bottom tier 1 here for the side of DC. DC this time around putting a little bit of attention here onto the mid tower, making sure they defend that. Losing the objectives in game 1 pretty early into the game, I think, is where things started to go a little bit awry for them as well. So
they
this
couldn't
time
take
around,
objectives,
they're doing a better job this time around trying to defend it. They do smoke up though.
Well,
Axe leading the charge.
I think they got better heroes this time around to deal with this type of lineup as well. They didn't really have the heroes to deal with that kind of lineup, and when they were in the position, they just didn't get the combos off because they got sprayed up. Oh, missing by a margin, just a small little margin. Very, very good attempt. That should have landed. That kind of looked like it went right through the hero.
Yeah, that's what they would call when you're a sniper and you miss by a hair.
By a hair, yeah. Yeah, but it's for me. They've also got a lot of lane clear on the side of DC. They've got the Ember Spirits. They've got the Ember Spirit there, to do the Sleight of Fists. They've got the ice armor. Well, the frost armor, ice armor from Mr. Potato Head there, so you can always slow down pushes on the towers and the heroes and stuff. And they've obviously got the axe spins. They've got the centaurs things. So they've got nice wave clear this time around as well.
I think they've got something they can deal a little bit better with the side of
Forge Spirits and Eidolons and stuff. Yeah.
They've got things to deal with DC, and DC have got some decent stuff to deal with the side of APG. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about here for the side of DC, when it comes down to it, I mean, what right-click damage do you really have?
Ember's their only real right-click damage, and he needs to get fat.
But he's not really right-clicking at the moment. He's really gone for that standard meta Veil build. Going to probably getting his BOTs, then going to build into his Octarine Core. Not going to be really putting that right-click damage down, and Adestam laughs in the face of that kind of danger. But big jumping coming out here from Stunt. There comes the hook from Isan, and Isan being caught out from the side of APG. There comes the Stampede, and as soon as Isan went down, they decided to retreat. But now we've got a big jumping coming out from Filthy Frank. There comes down that Frost Chain from the ledge. They're going to try and hunt down Stunt now. Adestam trying to make something happen, and they decided to actually call it off, call out the Marines as the evacuation does begin.
Process, yeah. But, Lifestealer doing what Lifestealer does best, eating strength heroes for breakfast. It was quite a messy fight there, and they lost one each, I believe. It was kind of an even trade-off, but it's not going to be so even anymore once they take this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they really objective gaming outside of APG, but big call coming out here from Stun, catching 2, but it doesn't matter. O'Malley catching out 2 with the black hole. dropping the axe, but O'Malley pays with his life. Adestam in the back lines picks up Mr. Potato Head. They're looking for Isan. He's going to probably play around the shrine at the moment. TP coming in here from the center, but Isan goes down. Not popping the shrine. He cancels the TP, and they're going to let APG have their way as Filthy Frank decides to see if he can actually find a tad more, but also he's going to be pulled off. The hounds are going to be pulled back, going to be pulled off, and APG just going to reset at the moment. The next objectives for them, probably looking at taking tier 2s. You're opening up the shrines once these bad boys are down, probably like clockwork, moving back into the rush pit and looking at pushing high ground.
Yeah, I felt so sorry for that poor Lich. I mean, he had like 200 and something HP left. I was like, oh, he should survive 1 or 2 more right clicks from the lifestealer. Nope.
Chunk.
One chunk. Just
Get
one massive. Yeah, jeez. But he did have, you know, the amplified damage on him.
Yeah.
So. Or what is it?
Corrosive.
The corrosive haze.
We'll call it the bum gas.
The bum gas.
The bum gas. I'm trying to be very very elegant.
Look who's inside, Filthy Frank. With an inverse rune.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. But if he catches out the Centaur runner here, this should be fairly easy. Come on, look how low he is. Traxion, you are so dead, my boy.
Easy.
Oh,
They're going to give it to Adestam. Easy popped. Easy.
if there was a kill secured or kill steal, no, but no. When you're the carry, you get the kills.
Yeah.
It's
the law of the carries. I was a carry.
You took my kill. I'm the carry.
But now bot lane, just under their shrine, they do actually lose out the axe. There comes a big chain frost. Mr. Potato going to get jewels up, going to land in the ice wall, slay him down a tad. ACG trying to see if he can hunt him out, going to try and dodge around the trees here. Mr. Potato going to TP out, he doesn't get it. Frostbite coming through from Mr. Bob Yules, stopping that instantly and picking up that kill there on the Mr. Potato Head.
I think he got cold snapped.
No, he got frostbited from the CM.
Oh, yes, he did, yes.
From the CM. Mr. Bob Yules, he kept that. He knew that Mr. Potato Head was going to try and TP out and preventing that from happening.
Oh, shame, man. It's like, please let me TP. Please. Nope.
I have no pity on you mortals. Maple, going to just clear out the bot lane. Maybe try and see if you can push down a tier 1. They are so lacking in taking down objectives here for the side of damage control. But there we go. Mr. Traxion now finds out Mr. Adestam. This could be a little bit of a problem. There comes the hook from Isan, taking a chunk of damage. Adestam going freaking crazy over here in the back lines. There comes the frostbite out from the CM. Going to throw down the nonsense and stun, taking a chunk of damage. He's going to go down as well as Adestam actually invests into Filthy Frank, keeping himself alive. And Mr. Potato Head, he's just trying to find a way out of here. As we've got Filthy Frank trying to hunt him down. Actually hasn't got corrosive haze, and he does actually catch it. Adestam going to right click him down, and Adestam unstoppable at the moment. If you just look at the scoreboard, Adestam is 6 for 0.
Such a disgusting combo. Feels bad.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Slardar into Lifestealer. Hello. Like, goodbye. Any hero. Jeez. Shame.
Yeah. Super scary for the side of DC. Just kind of feeling like they're a little bit outmatched. I mean, the Pudge and the Ember was in the first game. APG got a lot of work done with the Pudge Ember combo. This time around, not too much happening. But Adestam being spotted out. Now they've got 3 players here from the side of DC trying to bring down Adestam, and eventually they do get it. The streak was broken by the axe, but now we've got a 3-man stun coming out here from Filthy Frank. We may actually see the centaur going down. It's not going to happen. They're fighting around the shrine. ACG going to try and survive through this, taking a little bit of damage. Oh, beautiful black hole under the shrine. Losing ACG. Isan going down as well to O'Malley. And Maple trying to get out of there using that remnant. Filthy Frank speeding up, going to chase him down, gets the crush off. Going to keep him in position for a little while. The Lich and the Centaur trying to come in to help out. He does. He gets the kill there onto the Filthy Frank. And now O'Malley trying to get more. He doesn't. Triple kill going for Traxion out of nowhere. The Centaur has come to the party and he brought friends.
Yeah. Well, they were on the sidelines, the Centaur, and I believe the Lich. No, it was the Centaur.
Yeah, they were the backup. They were the late arrivals.
They weren't exactly the late arrivals. They were going for this Crystal Maiden who was on no HP, and just saying Traxion was on almost no HP that whole fight as well. And they right-clicked her down once or twice. And like obviously they were like, oh, please go kill. Centaur's so low. So Invoker jumps in, and all he had to do was blink, stun, and his beautiful his beautiful blade over there, that double edge, got him down as well. So he just like got like these two beautiful little kills on low heroes on the sidelines there. So obviously that brings it to a triple kill. But
Well, I mean, they're trying to salvage a situation. I mean, things are going really well for the side of APG. Let's take a look at the net worth graphs. I think that will give us a little bit of a story over here. APG 10k lead. All of a sudden, after that fight, things went back in favor of DC. So they're already trying to bring the game back down to 6k. So DC trying to make plays. They have it. They have the ability to actually make it happen. Experience sitting at about 4k at the moment. So DC they're not giving up. They're not giving up.
Definitely not. And then the fight went really well for them as well now. So I mean, it's
big streaks broken.
Yeah, 600 and something rand gold.
Rand. Welcome to the South African Dota scene, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it was 675 gold, I believe it was, for breaking a Dastum streak. So that's quite a nice sum. And the fact that they all, you know, I think it was like 2 heroes that went down on DC in that fight, and everyone went down on the side of APG. Crystal Maiden just respawned after this fight was so long. Crystal Maiden respawned before everyone else was dead.
Yeah, so that's just how low the levels are. But APG, they decide to jump into the pit.
The rush pit, take on the big bad monster.
And put the Aegis onto Dastum. He's already made space for that beautiful token. He's going to be able to snack that up, and that's going to be looking at taking a little bit more objective. So this time around, APG having a little bit of a tougher time, and the reason why I say that is because in the previous game they actually took down the tier 2s first before they actually went into the rush. But this time around, jumping into rush before. Stampede just trying to clear the distance here between what APG have planned for them. And they're going to try and see if they can find anything. Yeah, we've got the corrosive haste on the axe. They do know where he is.
Yeah, they can't really do anything. And I must say, axe can't really go for the conventional Blink Vanguard Blademare build. He's now going for a pipe by the looks of things.
I do like this, though. Yeah. I really do like this.
Well, they do need it. They've got an Invoker, a Crystal Maiden, an Enigma. That's a lot of magical damage. So they do need a pipe. They really do. I would have maybe put it on the Centaur rather. But it does look like they're going for the Aghanim Scepter upgrade, so they will take reduced damage for the duration of his Stampede. So effectively, their build, they really are trying to reduce the damage done by the side of APG. So I mean, you've got the Centaur going for his Aghanims, and you've got the Axe going for the pipe. So it's good. It's good.
The only thing that I fear for the side of DC at the moment now. I mean, it's been a really exciting game. Things have been going backwards and forwards. The only thing I think DC's failing at a little bit at the moment is to actually put damage onto Adastam.
It took a lot to kill him. It really did. It took a lot to kill him.
They don't have the right click damage. They're not critting. They're not being able to do anything to the Lifestealer, and he's just going absolutely crazy on all the heroes. I mean, you've got the axe jumping in, and the Lifestealer just laughs in his face.
I mean, you got the Ember Spirit going for the spell amplification instead of the 20 damage, which makes sense because he went for the Veil of Discord build. I do like his second choice though. He went for stats instead of movement speed, which is I would always choose stats over movement speed, especially because you can't level stats anymore. Stats are very important in this meta. Oh, that tornado!
Oh, Stampede even better. Clearing the distance, but they do know it's offline. There comes the kill from Adastam. Filthy Frank getting involved there, popping out the Lifestealer, and
but they're just like he just melted like he didn't even exist. He melted like a creep.
Yeah, and I mean that is the hero on the side of DC that you'd expect to be able to stand toe to toe against the Lifestealer, but he just can't.
Oh, he went for a blade mail, which is understandable. You know, taking so much damage for heroes, but like you said, he hasn't gone for that right-click build. So it's going to take him a long time, another 20 minutes or so, to come online as a carry.
Do you know what I would have actually liked to have seen instead of the way they landed it is keep the Ember Spirit, keep the Lich, keep the Page, lose the
Centaur.
I'd actually keep the Centaur. I'd actually lose the Axe and pick up a Terror Blade.
Maybe, yeah. I think it could.
That means Lifestealer does really bad against illusion-based heroes or heavy damage heroes like a PA against Terrorblade. But Filthy Frank, looking at finding out the Centaur, it does get Frostbird up here by Bob Yules. And look at the damage he's able to absorb over here. But a simple pop could actually do it, but he dodges it. Oh my, Jackson managed to get out. He doesn't. He doesn't. Filthy Frank got that loaded rifle ready to bring him down and picking himself up a kill.
Traxion really tried there. I mean, he blinked just in time, immediately tried to TP out, but unfortunately they did find him. I mean, it was a nice attempt to try and get out there. I mean, I think we would have done that. Oh, beautiful Lich ulti coming out there.
The question is, do they have enough detection to actually spot out ACG? No one actually has detection.
Ooh.
ACG is actually going to walk this off.
Bye-bye. He hasn't got a TP. Oh, he's got TP boots. Never
He's
mind.
busy thinking, get wrecked, son. And I think he even had did he even throw a Sunstrike over there? No, it's still off cooldown. So ACG going to just be able to TP back to base. And ACG just laughing at the attempts of the side of DC.
That was unfortunate, no detection.
Yeah.
Yo, I'd be screaming like, why is it in dust? Where's my wards?
Trust me, I've played pubs with you, and I do not want to be on the receiving end.
No, but by this time I would probably pick up a gem. No, he's not joking. I'm serious about my warding, guys.
And I think Wilson can attest to that.
Yes, you can.
Only if you had a ward in front of a glass door.
A ward in front of a glass.
Adestam, he's now putting a bit of pressure onto this tier 2 tower. Instant in-face dodging out. Traxion's big stomp coming out from him, but a hook almost catching onto him. His son's not going to be happy with this one. Tornado coming out. Got to miss everything. So a couple of abilities being whiffed here from both teams.
I must say, he's been landing quite a lot of hooks. And I mean, that's a blind hook, obviously. But he's been landing nice hooks, and it's been a really hard game for him to land hooks because they've got the Eidolons. Oof, nice little blink initiation. I don't think they'll be able to capitalize too much on that.
Adestam says bull nonsense. He's going after Trax and gets that. There comes the blink call. Only going to catch out ACG, and not going to be enough. Stun taking a chunk of damage. He goes down to Adestam.
One by one. It's a messy fight. First the Centaur blinks.
No
veil. Oh.
No rocks were given. Triple kill going for Adestam. Oh, Pudge, he's going to pay with the ultra kill. Can he get the rampage? Give him the rampage. Adestam bringing down Traxion.
Yes!
Rampage given. And the black hole just for the shits and giggles. And now I'm picking up the kill here on O'Malley, and ACG picking up the kill back on the Pudge. And that was a rampage for Adestam in a Masters game.
Correct.
Unbelievable.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's also the first double rampage we've seen.
I think that's true. I mean, I think Rampage. I mean, beautiful stuff done here from the side of APG. They also pick up the top lane of Rex. The shrines have been taken out in the top lane. So if they want to put another 150 gold in their pocket, they're going to jump onto that. They're going to rotate to the bot lane and push that out. But during all of that, they did lose their bottom tier 2. They did actually take it down earlier, the side of DC. So the lanes have been pushed in quite a bit here in the bot lane. It's now DC have to mount a massive defense here.
Abyssal Blade for the Lifestealer. As if you didn't have enough bash with your slaughter. You know.
He wants another rampage.
He wants another double rampage, yeah.
It helps. It's the stacks. It's the rep points that you get.
Oof, and that Echo Save to boot. It's just so much damage coming out of that thing right now. It's a scary, scary, scary hero. MKB,
I mean, he doesn't want to quit. And Filthy Frank, the perfect vessel for him. And picking up double damage. I mean, I think at this point in time, these two can actually take on the side of DC. Yeah. I actually want to see that.
You want to see them solo DC?
Yeah.
Oh, they could. Jeez, double damage rune, bounty rune, you know.
My eyes on you guys.
Yeah, but that was for me. Ooh, okay. Someone's gonna not get picked off. Okay, no, he's not gonna take on.
Yule's blink, but here comes the Stampede. They're gonna try and chase down ACG. They've already went the wrong way, but in the meantime, they're gonna try and spot out Bob Yules here. But now we've got Maple being caught with his pants down. There comes the Abyssal just for the shits and giggles of it, and APG have already got the one-man advantage. If they want to push in, this is the good opportunity. A lot of the wave clear from the Ember Spirit that it provides is down. I mean, another infest. They're going to TP bot. They're going to TP to the shrine as well. Now, oh wow. I can't even cast that quick enough.
No, you can't. It's just like melt. Dead. Okay, next, dead, next, dead. Yeah. You can't cast that fast.
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
I'm still trying to like talk about this stupid fight in the top lane with the racks. I can't even get.
Oh, we're like 10 minutes past that.
That's like, geez, okay, move on. No, but yeah,
Oh,
I don't know what's to be done at this point.
Random rage in the top lane. Maybe suspecting something fishy here from the side of DC. Obviously, knowing nothing's there. Mid lane though, O'Malley popping down the pulse. Actually doing quite a bit of damage here to Traxian. They're just going to try and defend up the lanes. Pretty easy. ACG may want to try and do something here. Gets the aggressive blink in. There's the Yules. There's the combo. And ACG says, thanks for coming, lads. Drops the Forge Spirit. And mid lane is looking pretty easy at pushing in. The Ember Spirit is back alive, so Maple can maybe do something here in slowing down this high ground push.
The right thing to say was he dropped the Kamehameha.
He
dropped the Kamehameha, people. He looks like a Super
I hear
Saiyan.
an infest, I hear a pop,
Yeah.
and they're trying to hunt down Stunt on the axe. There comes the defensive hook from his son. Not going to be good enough, as he will go down eventually to Adestam. And I mean, Adestam doing a huge amount of damage, and they just don't have anything to deal with the Lifestealer. Unfortunately, I mean, DC had a decent draft until the point they couldn't deal with the Lifestealer, and ACG picking up another kill. And good game has been called. The boys of DC tap out.
Yeah.
They just can't take it anymore. And Adestam for the black hole.
One last black hole.
The black hole. That's it. That's how we finish it off. The black hole.
The black hole. No, but, well, APG still yet to drop a game in this Masters series.
Playing unbelievable Dota, really sticking to what the meta is. Still trying to figure out the meta, having some very good success on the heroes that they've picked up. And I mean, it kind of favors. I mean, we constantly saw fights that were happening. As soon as Filthy Frank picked up the blink, it just became an absolutely new ball game for him. Adestam was continuously inside of Frank, and
was. No, but
and that's when the nonsense began.
Honestly, I think APG understand the meta very well. They really do, and it's evident in their drafts and in the play style. They've figured out, you know, what works for them.
Yeah.
And Adestam almost had a perfect game. He died once. If he didn't die, he would have had a perfect game. Because I mean, double rampage, no deaths. You know, it would have been the perfect game for him. But I mean, he did really, really well.
I'm just looking at the stats over here. Now, I'm trying to think is if we had to change the draft around a little bit for DC, because I felt they didn't have anything to deal with Adestam. I mean, he was right-clicking like an absolute beast. They really didn't have anything to deal with him. The rage came up, and things just went chaotic. They didn't have a black hole for him. They didn't have a Magnus RP. They didn't have a Bane. I mean, maybe even the Bane could have worked out better for the Lich.
I think a Bane pickup would have been ideal for a Lifestealer, definitely.
I would have actually changed the draft a tad, swapping out. Look, even the Frost Armor from the Lich is also pretty good against the Lifestealer. But the Bane lockdown does things a little bit different.
Yeah. And not just that, I mean, okay, Lich is good in the laning phase, but Bane could also reduce Lifestealer's damage.
The Enfeeble.
He could enfeeble the Lifestealer every fight. He could, disable him. Goes through rage. So I think I completely agree with you there, where I think Bane would have been a much better choice for the side of DC.
At least they would have given the opportunity for the Ember to actually get there, right-click him down, and actually deal with him a little bit better. The Pudge, I felt, was a little bit overwhelmed as well. I mean, we saw APG run it and did really well. But when it came down to it, they just couldn't make it happen, because what they were doing is they were pulling heroes into the fight. Problem is, the side of APG draft thrives on the fact that they in your face.
Yeah,
the Enigma wants to be there. The Slaughter wants to be there. Adestam wants to be there. So the Pudge wasn't the right call, and maybe that's when you say, right, we put... we change the draft a little bit around. We don't pick up the Pudge. We maybe pick up Avenge. Maybe pick up... Okay, the Rubik was banned out as well.
Yeah.
Maybe pick up the Venge, trying to control the fight a little bit better. Just and so desperate in need of a right clicker. Maybe even a Jug trying to Omni Slash him down. A Terrorblade that can kind of just deal out the damage. They don't really have any karting items either. The supports for the side of DC had no 4-staffs.
Yeah, no 4-staffs. I don't think they even had a glimmer cape.
No.
They didn't even have a glimmer cape. But going back to your original thing with the Pudge, it's also a bit of a harder game for him to hook things, because not only is there Forge Spirits, there's Eidolons as well. And they did position their creeps very well when they were pushing, to make it nearly impossible for the Pudge to hook anyone out. So for him to be able to hook someone out, he always almost died, because he had to get way out of position to get anyone.
Yeah, it just made it perfect for what APG wanted to do.
And APG drafted exceptionally well against a tanky lineup like an Axe, a Pudge, a Centaur Warrunner. They didn't have the heroes that DC had last game, where they couldn't really do anything against those heroes. They've got a Lifestealer, a Slardar. Those two heroes are alone deal with tanky lineups very, very well. So, I mean, I think APG drafted excellently. They really did.
Yeah. Well, let's just take a look here. We've got XP and net worth graphs. Looking at the spike over here, we're looking at around about 21-minute mark. Let's check out player items at the 21-minute mark. What actually happened? Aegis came online for Adestam. We had the Blink coming online here for Bob Yules. And not two are the Hags coming on center just after that fight. So